My name is Frank, and Frank is a dominant, domineering, masculine, alpha male type of name. I love my name so much. I'm like, Frank. I love it. I asked my long-suffering wife, Marie, over here. Marie, what do you think about the name Frank?
I'm quite partial to it.
Oh, so am I. Yay! We agree on this. So Frank, the good thing about Frank is that it's like, hey, it's Frank. How's it going? Good to see you. But there's one and only one tiny little downside to the name Frank, and it is this. F-R-A-N-K, you cannot rearrange these letters into any other word in the English language, which is called an anagram. You take the letters of a word, you rearrange it. I get things like K-Fran or Canarf. I mean, you really can't do anything with it. You're just kind of stuck with
Is this what you do with your free time?
Keeps me up at nights. Literally, when I'm awake at night, this is what I'm working on. It's just word jumbles in my head. So I'm looking at this going, okay, but here's the thing. This ties into one of our topics for this episode, where we went to a lovely city called Barcelona. Barcelona's awesome.
Loved it.
In northeastern Spain, it's on the Mediterranean coast, where it's like, hey, we're going to go Barcelona. And the first thing that I look at Barcelona is I go, hey, there's a B. And I start, there's a B-A-C-O. You can actually extract the word bacon from the letters in the word Barcelona.
This does not shock me that you did this.
It's absolutely...
Because you are obsessed with bacon.
Doesn't everybody do this all the time? It's like, I see bacon in this word. And here's the more amazing thing. Oh my goodness. If you take out the word bacon from Barcelona, the remaining letters are R-E-A-L. You can actually spell real bacon from the letters that comprise Barcelona. I kid you not.
I'm sure. And leave it up to you to find that.
This is going to be a fantastic episode of Voca Vacay. Not only are we going to talk about, okay, we'll get rid of the anagram stuff, but they're amazing things to see and do and eat and drink and all the great things that make Barcelona just one of those metropolitan areas you've really got to check out. It is on, I don't want to say bucket list because we always say bucket list.
Yeah.
It's a bucket list city. You've got to go there.
It was
a wonderful
amazing.
Place.
And we're going to talk about all this stuff. And speaking of bacon, we're going to talk about the food. This is actually quite apropos.
Yeah. Real bacon, Barcelona, you be the judge. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
And Voca Vacay starts right now.
Prepare yourself for the bestest, amazingest, and overall super duperest travel program in the history of ever. Vacation like it's your job and live vicariously through yourself. It's time now for Voca Vacay.
It always warms the cockles of my heart. The cockles, I tells you, when we find out that we are now, Voca Vacay now has new listeners in new countries worldwide.
I cannot believe it.
I can't believe it either. We have just recently found out that we now have listeners in the following 4 new countries that we have not recognized before. So here you go.
Okay.
Shout out to our newest, bestest buddies in Turkey.
Oh, we did Turkey shows already.
Yes.
And now we're finally getting listeners from there.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I love it. Place we haven't been to yet. It's on our list of places we want to go to and broadcast from, do a podcast from. An episode from Bangladesh would be awesome.
That would be so exciting.
Yes.
Now we really have reason.
Yes.
I am so excited we have people from there listening to us.
Yeah, Southeast Asia. Oh, we want to come over so badly.
Yeah.
Venezuela in South America. We're on down there now.
We are hitting some countries in South America.
Remember, if you play Risk, that's the strategic game about global, where you should go and all that stuff. Venezuela is right there. So you got to have that country.
Oh my gosh.
We got Venezuela.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, Venezuela. Hey, how's it going? And of all places, Norway.
No way.
Yes way, Norway.
That is pretty cool.
I'm sure they've never heard that joke there at all. So anyway,
I've always wanted to go there too.
Absolutely. So so thanks so much to Turkey, Bangladesh, Venezuela, and Norway for playing along. We really appreciate you joining the ever-expanding global Voca Vacay family.
That is so exciting. I'm always so excited when I hear that we have a new country.
Nah, I'll tell you what else is exciting to my lovely and talented wife, Marie, here is that not only are we recognized in 4 new countries, but we've been recognized in actual festivals here.
Yes. Oh, okay. So I try and put us in some competitions because we started this as kind of like a passion project.
Absolutely.
We wanted to tell everybody what we had done, and we love to travel, but it's nice to get some recognition.
Yes.
So I always try and enter us in some things, and we've won a few things, but now we've won some W3 awards,
W3.
which are super cool. Like, they recognize a lot on the web, video, audio, social media, websites, podcasts, like all kinds of stuff.
It's like a cutting edge thing. If it's like cool digital social media type of thing. W3 is the place. They're the ones that are going to recognize
And
that.
now we're in that company, which is really cool. So we won 2 silver awards.
Yes.
In 2 different categories. So I put us in for them to look at the whole podcast, not individual episodes.
Right.
So as a general series, we won in lifestyle.
Hello.
And then also in hospitality and tourism.
Absolutely.
I'm so dang proud of us.
And I want to thank them for saying, hey, we're going to listen in. And by the way, if you're watching on our YouTube feed, our YouTube channel,
Hi, how's it going? Good to see you. I'm Frank. That's Marie.
and here, right here, we're not making this up. There's the actual hardware right there. And these are the coolest trophies because like
They are cool.
3 blocks that are off-centered but stacked on top of one another.
Yeah, so it's the W3. So I believe it's the World Wide Web. It's
Yes.
like the 3 Ws.
And very
so
cool.
that's pretty cool.
So thanks so much, W3.
Yay!
Wanted to say
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
for recognizing us. And of course, people in Turkey, Bangladesh, Venezuela, Norway.
Yeah.
Thank you as well.
I'm so excited.
Because so am I, because I know they're here not just to go, oh, yeah, nice trophy. What you guys talk about today? Barcelona.
What an amazing trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of such rich history, a lot of which, I mean, I couldn't even tell you, but a lot of history. There are a lot of sites to visit just for that. But you guys know me. Oh my God, the food.
Yes.
Like, it is a foodie's paradise once again.
It is food, it is culture, it is history. It's all wrapped up. And this is the thing. This is part 3 of our 4-part series of our Med Cruise series.
Yes.
Because this was a port destination. So we pulled in on the boat, and it's like we arrived at 9 a.m. We had to leave, be back on the boat by 5:30, or you're going to be left behind and lost in Barcelona.
Well, that wouldn't be such a bad thing.
I'd be totally cool with that, guys. Absolutely would. So here are like a couple of background things real quick. Let's give you some math. I did not, and this is how stupid I am. I did not realize how big Barcelona was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, oh, it's a city. I mean, slightly bigger than like Macon, Georgia, but I didn't think it was a huge deal. I was wrong.
I didn't either.
1.6 million people. And that's just in the city proper. The metropolitan area has 5.5 million.
Yeah, I had no idea it was that large.
This thing is a thing with a capital T. It's huge.
Urban.
It's urban.
Yeah.
It is the number 5 most populous metropolitan area in the European Union.
I had no idea.
I know, right? I'm doing the math on this saying, you've got to be kidding me. It is the capital of Catalonia.
Yes.
In northeast
the
Spain.
region.
Yes.
Which has a lot of rich, again, culture, history. A lot of good wine comes from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, it's real good. Like, yeah.
So we'll tell you about some of the culture stuff first, and we'll get into what we did and some of the food and all the other stuff, because there's a whole wonderful cornucopia of goodness.
Good crossword word.
Barcelona.
I like that.
I can't spell it, but I can say it. So here we go. When you get there, by the way, there's a lot of great museums. There's Picasso. You've heard of this guy, Picasso. The Miro, M-I-R-O Museum. Fabulous guy. The Maritime Museum, because, and this is one of those museums, it's amazing because Barcelona's on the coast.
Right.
So they've got a maritime museum, and they have a lot of just sort of history and fantastic stuff going on there.
Yeah.
There's also, and I this is one of those things that I don't realize until someone tells me, and then I go,
Oh, I didn't know that.
because it's so obvious until once someone tells you, it's like, well, duh.
Right.
They have something called the Barça Museum.
Yes.
And it's spelled B-A-R-C-A. The Barça Museum is for FC Barcelona. It's their soccer team. What
They are
call
crazy
football.
about football.
Yeah, and we went by this place.
Yes.
And it's massive and huge. There's a museum
Yes.
inside there. So if you're and I'm going to say soccer, and I know that globally it's football, but in America we call
Right.
it soccer because we have a different type of football that we play over here also. So I'm not denigrating what it is, just our terminology just have to be
Right.
different on this one sport.
Right.
So if you are a big fan of FC Barcelona, the team,
Yeah.
you can go there. There's a museum, even if they're not in town, even if there's not a match going on, there's a museum. You can go check it out and go, wow, these guys are amazing.
And it's at the stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can actually see if there's not even a game. Like, you can see the field.
Yep.
You can go to the museum. You can, look at, I'm sure we didn't go, but I'm sure it's like they have a lot of trophies and a lot of,
Oh, yeah, they got trophies and uniforms and highlight
yeah,
clips and all
kind
sorts of stuff.
Yes, to look at. That sounds awesome. I wish we would have done that.
Well, that's the thing. We went by it. We went
Yes.
past it, and it's like, wow, that's a big stadium. It's like, oh, yeah. And there was actually, people lined up going into the museum
Yeah.
because my first thought of, look, whenever I see a stadium, the reflex is there a game? Is there a match going on? Is something
Right.
happening there?
Right.
No, but there were still people lining up. They were going into the museum.
Right.
The team is off that day.
Right.
How cool is that?
It'd be cool to see some of those displays and learn more about some of those players.
Right, absolutely. So you can go check this out. If you have art, you can check that out. If you want to do the Maritime Museum, go check out culture. All sorts of opportunities await you in Barcelona.
And not to mention the architecture, can I just say?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, going up and down the streets, there's so much different influence. Well, I think we're going to mention a little bit of that later, but it's just a beautiful city to do all this stuff in.
Yeah, and the thing is that the history, let's get into the history very briefly,
let's
because everything's going to tie together in Barcelona, because this is a strategic port type area anyway, so a lot of people coming through there. And by the way, and I did not know this, because when I say Barça, some people think that might mean that that's the abbreviation for Barcelona. It is not. In Barcelona, they call it Barna. They don't call it Barça, because Barça is what they refer to. I mean, that's like team. That's the Barcelona football, football soccer team.
Right.
Barna is that's the abbreviation for their town.
Oh.
So it's like, we're going to Barna. That means Barcelona to them. They don't say Barça, because that's referring more to the soccer team.
I did not know that when we were there.
Yeah.
I think now that you say that, I do recall hearing or seeing some sort of signs. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
So they have that, and
well, if you add Ness, it's
it's
even better
name. So what happens is there's a lot of history going on there, and the history includes, unfortunately, a big civil war that started before World War II.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into all the players involved with Francisco Franco, and because then you have Hitler and Mussolini and everybody, a lot of activity going on.
There's a lot of people that know a lot of this stuff really well, and it gets all jumbled in my brain when I try and look at it. I tried to pick up some of it and listen to some of it when we were there. Mm-hmm. It's overwhelming.
It is. And the thing is, there's so much nuance to this history. It's fascinating stuff, but here's the outcome, just to put it out there. You're looking at a city that's the capital of Catalonia.
Yeah.
And Catalonia, it's sort of like its own region. It has its own distinct feel.
They've talked about sort of trying to break away from the rest of Spain.
Absolutely. Francisco Franco, because he basically was ruling Spain until he died in 1975. In 1983, a law mandated that the Catalan language would be the primary language in schools in Catalonia, including Barcelona.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So they're like, we're really proud of this heritage. And check this out. Catalan is spoken in that area and is closer to French and Italian than Spanish.
This makes a lot of sense to me, though, because when we talk about the food later, there's some influence from Italy and also just from other parts of the Mediterranean that come all the way up, even though this is a Spanish speaking and a Spanish country.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other influence cuisine wise. That makes sense that, it's closer to French, Italian. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's the amazing thing is that you're looking at this going, wow, well, Barcelona, you're in Spain, and Spain is Spain. Well, there's a Catalonian district area, and that has to be respected. It is a different language.
Yeah.
It's a different attitude, a different feel.
Yeah.
And
totally.
And so you get there and go, wow, that explains the differences, the nuance. The word nuance I'm going to use several times today, but the nuances in the food, the attitude, the language, everything.
Yeah.
It's just... It's Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's the best way to describe it.
It's Barcelona.
Oh, you love saying that word.
I love it so much.
So here's what happens. So what we do is we decide we're going to get on the bus.
Right.
Because we again, pulling at 9, leave at 5. We got a full day there.
Yeah.
But it's not enough time to see this humongously cool city.
Yeah.
So let's do the hop on, hop off bus.
Which
let's
is
do
like
the tourist thing.
The second time that we did the hop on, hop off on this whole Mediterranean cruise trip. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, it was worth it for Barcelona.
It was.
Because you have a headset, headphones, and you get to listen, and you actually get to hear and take in some of the stuff within the amount of time that we had, some information that would be harder to understand and take in if you were just walking around trying to get it on your own.
Absolutely.
And then also it goes by all the important stops. So that was a good choice for this city, I thought.
I think so too, because, and here's what happens is that you have the orange line and the green line. It's just the colors. So you get on the orange line and we figure we're going to take the orange line through part of the town and then we're going to walk around. That'll take us to the middle of town.
Yeah.
It does a big loop. So we'll go to the middle of town. We'll look around there and then we'll catch the green line coming back. Everything, ding, fries are done. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So we get on the orange line. And we start seeing the buildings. We start seeing
my
the
gosh.
architecture. We start
Yes.
seeing, and here's the deal. They don't just slap stuff up and go, okay, this is a building. There is a dedication and a level of care
Yeah.
and meticulous artisanship
Yeah.
involved in some of these buildings. I'm on the bus and I'm thinking, I'm breaking my neck going, look at that, look at that, look at that. It's impossible to take all this in just one viewing.
So I am going to mention a couple of just general areas of the city that we saw while on the bus, because we got to see some of the most beautiful, architecturally amazing streets and districts just by being on the bus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the two that really stood out to me, when we got on the bus, we went down through the Gothic quarter, and there's lots of like cafes and bars and clubs, but that's the oldest part of Barcelona. It's got a
Right.
lot of like Roman and medieval era architecture. And yeah, it's where the cathedral is. So it's one of the first stops on the hop on, hop off.
Yes.
And it's amazing and beautiful. And it's just like this old sort of like old town feel of Barcelona. And you just, when you're seeing Barcelona for the first time and you're driving through, you're like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
is why
Yeah.
I came here.
Yeah, I totally get this
Yeah.
now.
Then, so we went and we did a few other, like we saw some things. And then coming like back, because, on the hop on, hop off, they basically try and make big circles.
Right.
And so then we went down, or we came back up Los Ramblas. Ramblas, I think
Ramblas.
is how Ramblas.
Las Ramblas.
Los Ramblas.
That's a good name.
So it's like it's hustling, bustling. It's got street performers, souvenir stands, local art. It's where you kind of go to hang out. It's one of those just basic tourist streets, and it's a little more modern. But there's just a lot going on there for shopping and things like that. And every city has one. And so it was really nice to see sort of this older part of the town and then this other part of the town coming back. And I have to say, it's a beautiful city. It's clean.
Very clean.
Everyone's kind. It's a pedestrian friendly town, and it was just really fun.
Well, it's pedestrian friendly. It's bicycle friendly. It's
Yes.
moped, scooter friendly.
Yes.
Everyone's getting around, and everything just has its own rhythm, its own vibe there.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place. So we hop on, we hop off, and we hopped on at the port where
Yeah.
basically our ship came in, and we see all these things going, wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And then we say,
Fountains, arches, things, parks. Yeah.
museums
Yeah.
all over the place, great architecture,
Yeah.
beautiful buildings. And then we hop off because we think there's one place we're going to go to that's on the list of places that you really got to go to.
Yes.
And it is, this is a preview. We're not there yet, but eventually we're going to go to the Basilica de la Sagrada Familia.
This was the one place where we were like, it does not matter how much time we have. This is our priority.
This is the place we're going to go to.
Yes. And we highly recommend it.
So absolutely. And we'll tell you about that here in just a minute.
Yeah.
Because what we did is we got off this bus, and now you have to walk because the Orange Line doesn't go directly there.
Right.
But it circumnavigates so much, like we're not going to have time. We want to spend some time in the Basilica. So we're going to hop off here and walk a couple of blocks
Yes.
to the Basilica, and then we'll
Yes.
catch the Green Line back.
Now, here's the cool thing about walking there. Again, parks.
Yes.
A lot of bodegas, a lot of little stores,
Yes.
shops. You can buy wine. You can buy, a lot of stuff to make what would be Spanish charcuterie, which is more ham based. We're going to talk
Right.
about that later.
Yeah.
But just little cool places to stop off and have a nosh or to just buy something for later.
I'm drooling.
I know.
Can you guys hear me salivating through stuff? I'm like Homer Simpson going, oh.
But you walk past these places and they're all little local neighborhood places.
Yeah.
And the smells and the colors and like everything is super amazing.
And it's so enticing. I just wonder, how do people in Barcelona not weigh 300 pounds each? I would just be packing on the pounds
know.
going, guys, I'm only human. I can only walk by this butcher shop and go, oh, I don't want any meat today. Yeah, I'll eat some meat today. Let's talk about it. Because we stopped in a place.
Yeah, so that's an advantage of walking the rest of the way to
Yes.
the Basilica. Yeah.
Absolutely, because we saw, you get the bird's eye level going through because it's double-decker hop-on, hop-off
Yeah.
bus. We got on the top level, and so we're going around. Then it's like you have to get the ground level experience
Yes.
of walking through.
Yes.
So, take the bus, but make sure you get some, foot time too
Yes.
to walk around, because we were just going, mind our own business, and it's like, okay, we got the map. There's the Basilica is that way in that general direction, and then I don't know if we saw it or smelled it or just had this innate feel of there's something delicious coming up on our left. On our left is deliciousness.
And on your left,
Oh, my
deliciousness. Yeah, it was like look, we weren't making a total beeline, but we walk with purpose when
Yes.
we're trying to get
Yeah,
somewhere.
we don't
and go
meander.
see something.
We don't
Right.
meander. We're going someplace.
But I will often, and I know sometimes I'm like, can we just stop again? And you're like, But most of the time you're like, I don't know. Instinctually, tell me, what are you feeling? And I'm like, check this place out.
Oh, yeah.
This was one of those.
This was one of those where you walk by and there are a variety of meats hanging in the window. And I'm like, welcome to Flavortown, population me. I just said, you've got to be kidding. It's called Butcher Shop Gracia Martinez.
Yes. And I guess Gracia means grace.
Yes.
And so it's just basically someone's butcher shop.
Yeah,
It's like all it is. But I was like,
We'll post pictures on our website.
Yes, and the link.
Doo-dah. You bet we will. Now, there's a lot of butcher shops and charcuteries there
Yes,
in
yes.
the city, and they're all over the place. Here's what is on their charcuterie board. Now, do I need to get a bib? I feel like I'm really starting to drool on myself
I'm
here.
going to be hungry after this show.
I'm hungry now. Ham loin, shoulder ham, chorizo, that is sausage, that's chopped pork and pork fat.
Chorizo. And they put paprika in it. It's amazing.
I think it's called the butafara,
Yeah.
which is spiced sausage. And then you have embutitos, which is a plate of cured meat. I don't know if that's what they call the tapas board, the charcuterie
Sure,
board,
yeah.
but it's just, oh, come on.
If you
oh,
say
come on.
plate of cured meat to me anywhere,
Yes.
I'm game. But over here, because usually because we are so accustomed to it being salamis.
Right,
From
right.
like the Italian influence. Now we're just talking real hams.
Yes.
Like just jam on. Like it is really good stuff.
And that's the thing. Look,
yeah.
I know some people don't eat pork, they don't eat ham and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And we're not saying, hey, you have to go try this. We're
Sure.
just saying if you do eat this particular kind of food, you're going to love it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
holy moly, this stuff is insanely delicious. So we go walking in, and I'm minding my own business. Like,
Minding my own business.
There's a butcher shop of hanging meats and charcuterie. I'm with the, and I just beelined right in there. And I think I left you behind on the sidewalk.
I have a picture from afar. Like I was like, I guess I'm gonna take a picture from over here
Yeah.
because he is doing his own thing.
There's a vapor trail of me just sort of, the image of me is blurry, I'll tell you that, because she's like, hey, honey, where did you, and I'm gone
Yes.
because suddenly there's hanging hams and meats and sausages and chorizos. I've got to go partake.
So yeah, we saw a lot of jamon, cured ham. We saw a lot of blood pork sausage, white
Yes.
pork sausage, fouette, which is long, thin, cured pork wrapped in the gut, much like salami. And then the chorizo. And they flavor their chorizo over there with black pepper, garlic, sometimes aniseed. But yeah, they don't do the they don't do the hardcore Italian charcuterie that you're used to, but do those things sound amazing?
They do sound amazing, and they are amazing.
Yes, totally.
So as you're looking at this, remember, even though Barcelona's on a port, look, they have land. There's mountains nearby.
Yeah.
There's all sorts. So you have a wide variety of things there. That you have excellent seafood because you're on the coast.
They eat a lot of cod, a lot of salted cod, a lot of Catalonian dishes are influenced by the rest of Spain. But again, like I said, from the Mediterranean. So one thing that is interesting is they make a black rice dish with squid ink. And it is supposed to, we didn't have any, but it's supposed to taste amazing.
Oh, I
And
would
you
eat
serve
that.
it with aioli. And then they have paella. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about a little bit of the difference where you have the French and the Italian influence.
Yes.
So you think of your traditional paella. What is traditional paella? Like, again, we're on the coast, so there's a lot of seafood. So you have your seafood component, and then what?
Is it rice?
Yeah, and then your rice. Except in this region, they do it with pasta. You see my point with how the food is influenced by basically being more on the Mediterranean side, on the Mediterranean side, but more closer to France, Italy, and all that, like you mentioned before. So yeah, a lot of seafood. They're really into their snails. You go to some of these markets, these open air outdoor markets, and a lot of the food stalls are just serving like cones of snails, and you just, suck them out of there, and like they're really nice and like succulent and amazing with nice spices and nice flavors.
See, right now I'm about to do my Barry White impersonation where it's like, oh, baby. Oh, cheese. Meats
Yes.
and cheeses.
Your finest meats and cheeses.
Oh, they've got them all over there. It's amazing.
So, and I'll mention there are two sort of specialty things that are really well known and celebrated in Barcelona that are sort of just special to that culture. And one of them is called calçots. They're green onions charred and grilled on a calçotada. Calçotada. It's like a grill.
Okay.
But it's seasonal. They're only served between January and March.
All right.
Now, they do this with like big gatherings with this big grill, and they're usually made beside like other sausages. But you dip them in romesco sauce and you eat them. Now, here's the thing. It's these big onions. They're like spring onions, but they're bigger.
Yeah.
But not as big as a leek.
Okay. Got it.
They char them to where you have to pull the onion from the inside out. So you pull the charring off. Then you dip it in romesco.
Oh, that's got to be amazing.
Then you daintily somehow bring that to your mouth and slurp it down. They actually serve it with like bibs and gloves. I mean, it's messy.
Yeah.
But think about the flavor. Like how a nice charred cooked onion.
I want one.
Spring onion tastes. I know.
I want one
They
now.
have like total like celebrations around this whole whole thing.
I would totally eat this. This sounds amazing to me right now. Just strap it on. Let's go.
Yeah. Another thing that they really celebrate is fresh produce and farm to table and just organic, like beautiful vegetables. So that is a big part of what they eat seasonally. And then escalavida, which is smoky grilled vegetable platters with olive oil. You can serve it hot or cold with a lot of tomatoes, onions, garlic, but also served with anchovies.
Oh.
And so they do, because of, being on the coast, they always try and incorporate that sort of like seafood component. But yeah, they celebrate the colors and the flavors of the food seasonally. And, everything else is delicious too.
Well, let's put it to you this way. So if you don't eat pork, there's food for you. If you don't eat
Yes.
vegetables, there's food for you. If you don't eat
Yes.
seafood, there's food. There's
Yes.
something there literally for everyone.
Yes.
Oh, I love this
It's so
place.
good.
I wanna
Now,
go
we did have
back.
some drinks too.
Mm-hmm.
We had, and I see you have on the list here of what we're going to talk about today.
Uh-huh.
Another place that we stopped, but we stopped there after we went to the Basilica.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that now
Nope.
while we're talking about food?
Talk about it at the
I
end.
will come back to my notes on drinks then
Uh-huh.
at that point.
Okay.
All right. Take me to the Basilica.
Okay, well,
take us all to the Basilica.
Okay, because there's a little place we came in just as a teaser here. There's a little place we went to on the end, but it's it's a special little place. Just stick around for a couple minutes, kids. We'll tell you what it is.
Oh, yeah, it'll be
totally
awesome.
worth the wait.
Yeah.
I love this. So here's what happens is that we go and Catalonian cuisine, just to wrap it up, big meats, cheeses, seafoods. There's something called Mantanga. I'm saying these things wrong. It means sea and mountain. It's kind of like surf and turf.
Yeah.
So when we said before, there's something for everybody. That's like fish and meat on the same plate.
Yeah.
So they've got it all.
Oh, yeah.
So we go to the butcher shop, the charcuterie. I'm drooling. Okay. I'll admit it. It's my secret shame. I love food. So then I think, okay, then the Basilica, it's right over there.
Oh, man.
We got to talk about the Basilica because this is the one place we want to go in Barcelona.
This is the one place that if you have one place you can go and you can't go anywhere else, you need to see this.
Yeah. We're going to put our picture. Yeah, we take a lot of pictures when we go places because some of them, it's our personal stuff and some we put up for the website, on, vocavacay.com so you can check them out. It is going to be a challenge to limit the number of pictures we put of this Basilica on
really
our
is.
website because this is amazingly photogenic.
Yeah.
The colors are beautiful. It's a special place. Let's get right to it. Here's what you do is you go to the Basilica de la Sagrada Familia. It's the Basilica of the Holy Family. A couple of important things here before I get into the history and what actually happens. You buy your tickets with the app.
Yes.
Buy your tickets with the app. Make sure your phone is working in advance. Apparently my phone, and I've got like I don't know if I have the Etch-a-Sketch model, the TRS-80 Fred Flintstone phone. My phone doesn't do jack whenever we go anywhere.
Yeah.
You are the techno person. So whenever we're like, there must be an app, you're like, oh, I've got, and she'll start rerouting things and satellites are flashing and Morse code's going off. And I don't know what the hell you're doing. But
try.
you do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am clueless. If you go to the Basilica, they literally have helper people there. And it's like, how do I get, is there a line for tickets? And they will tell you, no, get it on the app.
Yeah. So you walk up. We walked through a park to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It was very busy. School was letting out or
Yeah,
something.
it's an odd thing.
And we could see the Basilica. And then when you approach the entrance, there's a few different places where you think is the entrance.
Yes.
but they're really information points.
Right. That's
So-
the best way to, yes.
Yeah. So as you approach the grounds, you start seeing like, oh, do I go in there? Do I go in there? Whatever. And then you start seeing, oh, there's people standing there that are dressed, formally, like in uniforms.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I will ask. And then you start to realize, oh, there's actually this information I could be asking about is actually right in front of me on a placard.
Yeah.
And then there's like, a monitor. And then like you start to put together, I should probably get my tickets on my phone.
Yes, and they'll tell you, it's like, hey, buy the tickets here. You really want, just get them on your phone.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, it's like, there's a line for tickets. Just get them on your phone, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they're telling people. And the amazing thing is, like, these big backlit kiosks, they're there. And I actually saw this happen. This proves that I'm the older generation. There is a guy, he starts touching this lighted panel kiosk, thinking it's a touchscreen, and it's not.
That it's
Basically,
interactive.
yeah, he's basically touching a piece of glass.
Right, it wasn't.
And smudging it. I'm just, it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get the idea. Buy them on the app.
So they let only like a certain amount of people in at a time.
Yes.
I don't know what that number is, but let's say it's 30 to 40. I don't know. And so that's how they sort of like know they can keep better track of it if you're using the app, which is giving them real-time analytics about who's walking in and out.
They will give you basically a 20-minute window, like 11:20 to 11:40.
Yeah.
It's like you go in with that group, and it's also to help police the number of people that are in there, because you don't want like 10,000 people in this place simultaneously.
No.
They want to space out the experience for everybody.
Yeah, because you want to experience it. And if it's like so crowded, you can't really experience it.
Yes, you need to have a little bit of elbow room in there. So we said, okay, Marie got the app, downloaded tickets, boop, boop, boop. And we said, okay.
Just like that.
Yeah,
Sounded
boop,
just
boop,
like that.
Well, and I'm sitting there clueless going, I have no idea how any of this works, and I don't speak any of the languages here. And so we go, okay, we got tickets. We showed it to the little helper, and she said, okay, go around. You're on the wrong side. Okay.
Yeah.
We go around. And holy moly, now you see it. And by the way, as you're approaching, you'll notice there's construction cranes all over the place. It's under construction.
Yeah, I had no idea. You knew this.
Yes, it's been under construction for over 100 years.
You knew so much more about this than I did. And when we got up there, I was like, are we going to be able to get in? Is it open? Like, I thought they may have had it closed.
Yeah. You go in. Here's what happened. A guy named Antoni Gaudi, Gaudi.
Antoni Gaudi.
There, yeah, that's probably exactly how he said his own name. He designed the Basilica. It combines architecture, nature, and religion.
Oh my gosh.
Again, check out the pictures on our website, and then we encourage you. We're going to post their website on our website,
Yes.
so you can link to it. You've got to see these pictures. It's amazing. He does this back in the late 1800s. He designs this. Francisco de Paula del Villar, he started construction in 1882.
Okay.
He was out 1 year later. He quit. He's like, I'm not doing this.
It's big.
Yeah, it's a massive undertaking. So Gaudi says, hey, I designed it. I'll take over. It became his life work from 1883 until 1926.
Wow.
It was such a big deal to him personally. He is buried in the crypt. You can
Right.
take the special tour and go down and say, there's the guy who designed this thing.
Right.
When he died, now take out your calendar and your Wayback Machine if you must, because from 1882 to 1926, they're working on this thing nonstop. Okay,
Wow.
less than a quarter of this was finished.
Wow.
Holy moly! Okay, so he passes away. They put him in the crypt. What do we do
Right.
now? The work resumes. Then the Spanish Civil War happens 10 years later in 1936.
Okay.
Revolutionaries broke in and they partially destroyed his original plans, his drawings, and his
man.
plaster models. Everything was laid out, and some people came in and they just smashed them.
That's awful.
It took 16 years to rebuild the plaster molds and the drawings and to replicate what he did. 16 years of work just to figure out what was in this guy's head.
That's crazy.
Because remember, back then, they didn't have cell phones like, I'll take a picture of this, I'll run a
Right.
Xerox copy of it. They didn't have it. This guy just wrote the stuff down. He built some models. And if you destroy this thing, it took 16 years for other people to come in and go, what was he doing? Because what he was doing was truly next level architecture.
I mean, you can't put a price on art.
Yeah, no one had done anything like
Yeah.
what he had done before then.
Yeah.
This guy's just, wow. So then they say, okay, they rebuilt it. There's intermittent progress until the 1950s. Then they start resuming. In 2010, they're precisely halfway done. Over 100 years construction, they're halfway done
Wow.
by 2010. Now,
Hey, you got to get it right.
yeah, I know, but now work has increased. It has gone faster because now they're using computer designs
Right,
and CAD programs and
right.
stuff like that. They hope to finish in 2026, which will be 1 century after his death.
Right.
When you walk in, so now you have your tickets. That's the background. You walk in and you go through the line. You show them the app. Marie has the app on her phone. We've established I'm a technological idiot. We go walking in. She shows it. And you go, okay, this is interesting. And the outside is interesting. They give you a little headset thing with the audio guide.
Right.
So it says, and here's the door to this. And they'll tell you all the little detail things like this means this. The number of spires means this. I won't go into everything because it's worth you could spend a whole day there and not see the whole thing.
A good generalization of what you learn, and this is just a generalization, but basically the 3 words that you mentioned earlier, architecture, nature, and religion.
Yes.
Because the explanation of what you're looking at when you're looking at it, it'll talk about how the idea came from watching a tree. And then it became this like tangible thing, which is part of the building, that carved into it is a story. That's a religious story. Like those are the 3 kind of like levels. And it's a generalization, but basically just to sum it up of what you learn about what you're looking at, it's those 3 things.
I'm actually getting chills talking about it.
I know.
It's such a powerful image, and there's images set into the images. It's like you have to have the big picture, and then you have to see the details on this place.
I mean, and everything is placed in a way that is like, and then this is here because those windows over there that you learned about in recording number 2 shine the light at precisely this time of day onto this thing that you're now looking at because of this story that was written down centuries ago. Like, I mean, it just blows your mind, the levels and the colors.
Yes.
I mean, some of the stained glass and like all the stuff, it fills the hallways. It really does. To say it gives you chills, thinking back on it, yes, it does that. And so I don't know, how much we can impart that upon the listeners, but just go online. The pictures don't do it justice, but it will give you an idea.
Yes.
Because it is breathtaking.
When you walk in, the one thing you'll see is all these people walking around. And the first thing I noticed was the people standing around, because it's almost like they didn't have this entranced state of being where people they'll be walking and they'll just stop and they're looking at something.
Yeah.
And so I'm almost walking into people's like, oh, dude, what are you doing? Da, da, da. And then I see what they're looking at. I'm just, and you can't move. You're just affixed. And remember, when Gaudi designed all these things, there were no computers. There's no Wikipedia reference points. There's there's nothing.
Man.
This guy just came up with this.
Yes.
The colors are striking. This is a large, unfinished Roman Catholic. It's a minor basilica, by the way.
Oh, it's minor. Okay.
It's a minor. There's 1,800 minor basilicas worldwide. I did not know this.
Oh my gosh.
There are only 4 major ones. They're all in Rome, by the way. And like
Sure.
the St. Peter's Vatican Basilica, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Pope Benedict XVI, he consecrated this as a minor basilica back in 2010, again, when they were halfway done. So 120 years, something like that, to do the first half.
Yeah.
They're trying to wrap everything up in the final 16 years to get it done by 2026.
It's so massive, though.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear the word minor being attached to it, I know it. That's the connotation.
The minor basilica,
has nothing to do with its size, right?
That's what we call a misnomer, because when you see this, you'll totally get it. Amazingly enough, okay, so you go in, the colors, and we were fortunate that we were going there, and the colors were coming down because the sun was going down. It was late-ish, afternoonish.
Yes.
The sun is coming down, and when the sun starts coming in the western windows, there's this golden hue. But here's the thing about it. It's not just golden hue, because all the stained glass windows that are on the western side, they just light up. And you see rows of red and rows of blue and green. And I mean, name it. They've got it. You have to check it out. And it's amazing that everywhere you step is historical, because you look down, the floor is historical, the wall is, the ceiling, it's taller than you think, by the way.
Yes.
You
can get vertigo looking up.
Yes.
For sure.
I did. I got actual woozy.
Yeah.
I looked up, I was like, wow, look at all these intersecting arches and designs and the lights.
Yeah.
And I did the,
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're looking straight up, have a buddy next to you to kind of balance you so you don't fall into a nearby tourist or something like that, because I almost did.
Yeah.
It's an impressive thing, and everyone is taking pictures. And the one thing that irritated me inside, and I mean this, and look, we take selfies.
Yeah.
We're not immune to it.
I like a good selfie.
Yeah, I like it. VocaVacay.com. I'm not going to throw rocks. I've taken selfies of myself, and that's why it's called a selfie. But amazingly enough, there were people, I saw them doing nothing but taking selfies. I mean, close-ups. Guys, take a picture of yourself. Make sure this thing is in the background. Don't just take a picture of your face.
That's true.
Take a body wider shot so we can see what's going on behind you, because it's worthy of including in the photo of yourself, doofus. You've got to see this place, and you want to take pictures. Take the picture of yourself. Sure, that's cool. And we do the same thing, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite about this, but you want to take pictures of just the art and the architecture just by itself.
Some people might have just been doing their selfie to check in, because they're on some apps that when you check in, you know, it gives you reviews, or you can leave reviews, or you can get some, like, you know, special stuff out of checking in. But anyway, yeah, I, as someone that has a background in film and video and minored in photography in college, I have to say, I learned right away. I love taking pictures. I love doing videos, but sometimes you got to put the camera down and live the experience.
Thank you. You just have experienced this thing.
Yes.
So take pictures.
This is one where you just have to be in the moment.
Yes. Thank you. That's the word. Just stand there, and if you just want to just gape at something, just go, wow, it's okay. Everyone else is doing the exact same thing.
Sure.
They get it too.
Yeah.
You need to just drink all of this in.
And it's very spiritual.
Yeah.
Even though you're surrounded by a lot of people, it is very spiritual, and it's very it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a humbling experience too. For me, I felt very humble there, where I walked in and go, wow, it's just going to be a basilica. And then you walk in and it's like, wait, what is this? Because you read about this thing. And I know there's a book called 1,000 Places to See Before You Die.
Yeah.
And this is in there. And that's what sort of turned me on to it. And then you hear about, oh yeah, there's this church basilica thing. It's in Barcelona. You know, I've been working on it for over 100 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I heard about that when I was like in elementary school. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you find out later, it's like, you know, they're still building that.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, how long do you think we were in there?
Oh boy.
3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, I think about 3 hours.
I mean, we tried to get as much in as possible before we had to get back on the boat, but we were in this place hours.
Yes. Yeah, this was the highlight.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in Barcelona. We want to go back and check out much more.
Yeah.
And eat more and drink more and see more and visit
I
more.
definitely want to do all that.
But holy moly, you look at this place and it is just next level
Yeah.
experience. This is one of those unforgettable places. You've got to go. I'm not saying you should go. You must go. This is a must visit.
So we worked up quite an appetite.
I work up an appetite just sitting here doing a podcast episode.
Yeah. So, I mean, you definitely on the coming out, you're going to want to hit up and get a little snack.
Yeah.
And get something. And so we ended up just walking back through another neighborhood.
Yes, we're going towards the green line now. We're going towards our bus that's going to take us back.
Yeah.
And so we're just walking along, minding our own business. And there's all these different, and by the way, some of it is westernized. There's like McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that.
Sure.
We're not going to settle for that. We got to find something more local.
Well, yeah. And we had talked about all this food before. So to come back round to it, you can do one of two things. You can walk through neighborhoods and you can find some little shops and you can try some things.
Yes.
Or you can go to like a local market. And so I wanted to mention this earlier. So I'll say the thing that we didn't do, but that you should do. And then we will talk about what we did.
Okay.
Because I was sad that we were so far away from this big market. Because you know I love to go to a good market.
Absolutely.
This is something that I want to do when we go back. So I'm going to talk about it so that everyone listening, when they go, they will make sure to fit it in, because I think it's really cool. And I want to make sure that we hit it up next time.
Absolutely.
So they have this Boqueria local market. It was established in the 13th century. It's massive. It's the first local market of Barcelona.
13th century?
Yes.
It's around 800 years.
It was like the local market now,
Wow.
but here's the thing. It's massive now. Like I looked at it online. You can actually click on all the stalls and you can see like what there is to eat.
Oh my goodness.
It's a massive place for foodies. It's open Monday through Saturday from 8 to 8:30.
Yeah, and we could not fit it in.
We just could not fit it in.
It's one of those, it's the darndest thing, you got to get back on the boat. But yes, if we've been left behind, that would have been our next stop.
All that food we talked about before, all of it is here. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We had some of that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not totally like upset that we didn't make it to the market, because we're going to go.
Oh,
back.
we're going to go.
And
We're
we're
going to
gonna
the
go.
market.
But we did do something equally as cool, because
Yeah.
in this is a culture of like, you don't drink to get drunk. I mean, sure, you drink to get drunk on special occasions or whatever.
Yeah, but you drink to enjoy
There's
the day.
a lot of day drinking.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different things to try. And oh my gosh, we were walking back and we hit this intersection where it was almost like a 5 points kind of thing. Like it was a lot of different streets intersecting.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't like 2 streets. It was like 4 streets intersecting at acute angles.
Right.
And you gotta get a Venn diagram, figure out how to walk across this thing. But it was just one of those weird, funky intersect with oddly jutted out corners.
Yeah.
And so we wound up.
Yeah, and we wound up there, and I happened to look over, and I was like, "That's a kava and cakery," and you were like, "A what?
What?
A what?" And I was like, "Freaking kava! It's like what they're known for here." And so we ended up finding that, and it was amazing. I just have to say.
Okay, so basically, for those of you who don't know what La Cava Cakery is,
Yes.
this is what do they sell? I'll just let you.
It's a
say what-
cupcakery.
Yes.
So it's like cupcakes.
They make little
which
cupcakes.
are amazing.
Oh, they're so cute.
They have so many different flavors, and I wanted to eat all of them.
Yes.
But on the side of your cupcake, you get kava. And kava is really, really popular. Some of the stuff that a lot of people drink, of course, you'll have your coffee, your un cafe. It's usually espresso
Sure.
because, we're in Europe. They don't water down their coffee like we do.
No. They take it strong and let's go espresso. I can't do that. I can't drink espresso to save my life.
I actually really like it.
I don't. I can't. I just nope, not for me.
But that's because if you notice, like when I do drink like regular, quote unquote, regular coffee, which would be like Americanized coffee, I drink very little of it. So having an espresso is probably the right amount for me to drink.
Yeah, volume
physically.
wise, sure.
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right. So if you're not drinking coffee, a lot of people drink beer. They're not really particular about beer. Craft beer is growing over there, but it's not important as knowing about what size of beer you're drinking. So you can stop off at some places and get a little nosh and have some beer. I have the list here of like what they call the different pours. The smallest pour is called a Cagna, and a mini 6-ounce bottle of beer is a Baudelaine. I think that's how you say it.
Baudelaine.
I don't know.
I don't know.
A standard 10-ounce bottle of beer is a Botella. A tall, thin glass is a Tubo, or a Tubo, Tubo? T-U-B-O.
T-U-B-O.
And then a Jarra is the largest portion. It's typically a pint.
Okay.
But if you're not drinking those, the wine is like amazing. And so because of the Catalonian region with the coastline and the sun, the moderate temperatures, the wind movement, one of the most popular wines is cava. 90% of cava in the entire country comes from Catalonia. And when we saw this cupcakery, I about lost my mind because I was like, I wanted to have cava while we were there.
Oh.
So cava is like, it's a light, bubbly, white wine.
Like a sparkling wine type
It's
thing.
sort of similar to champagne, but it's a little sweeter. Like it's sort of similar to Prosecco. And so, but, oh man, you pair it with like sweets, like especially this was just the most brilliant place because it was like, here's your sweet little nosh, and then here's your perfectly paired kava. So they paired kava with the cupcake that you chose.
And what's amazing that people, when they think of, hey, we're going to go to Barcelona, get a drink, it's going to look, we'll get sangria or
I
something
know.
like that.
I was going to mention sangria later.
But
Really, well, here's the thing. Just like over here, sangria is only usually served in like big amounts for like parties and stuff.
Right.
So when we got there and it was like, oh, everybody was kind of, I know on the boat, we ran in to some people, sangria, make sure you go try the sangria. Not so much. Like it's not readily available off the menu. Like they have to make huge like vats of it.
Right.
I was so happy to find the kava.
So the kava is, if you want to have the local experience, get the kava.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's either the kava or I'll mention one more before we talk a little bit more about this place.
Okay.
But the vermouth. They're really big on vermouth. It's a pre-food drink. It kind of primes the pump, so to speak. So it opens your appetite. It's served usually with olives or anchovies and chips. And that's because bodegas don't usually have kitchens. So they kind of put little like snacks that are just kind of readily available that you don't have to cook on a plate.
Right.
And then you have a little vermouth with it. And then also, some other things to say just notably about the wine is the Montserrat region where the monastery is. And they make a lot of wine. around those mountains. And so it's beautiful and amazing.
Love
but back,
it, love
back
it,
to the
love it,
cava
love it.
and the cupcakery.
Okay. So we go to La Cava Cakery.
Yes. And you pick out a cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's my favorite part.
I know. I'm partial to red velvet.
All right.
And so I was shocked because they had chocolate varieties, vanilla varieties. And I picked the red velvet.
You picked a red velvet cupcake.
I did. And I think they paired with it a rosé.
Yes.
And so that was delicious. And
Yeah.
it worked perfectly.
Yeah, so you can have that. So here are your options, and some of the options again.
Yeah.
Because some of the cupcakes, like with the rosé, that was the red velvet, or they also pair that with the triple chocolate.
Yum.
The vanilla rosa.
Yum.
And then they'll have something that's the rosé brute. Then the regular brute goes with lemon, cocoa, or cookies and cream.
Yes.
Here's the deal. You point the cupcake, say, I want that. What do I drink with it? They'll help you out.
Yeah, and they had coffee and espresso there.
Yeah.
But the cava has different types, much like champagnes or wines.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just tell you like, here's what I would pair with this, and then you're like, yes, give me one.
Yes.
Or four.
And yes. They have people coming in, getting cupcakes, and then leaving and taking them home.
Yes, there's like you stand and eat there, so there's not formal tables, but it's like a cafe type table that's high.
Yeah.
And you stand and eat. There were lines out the door. Like we got there at a good time because we got in and we got out, but it was starting to fill up. And I think that's because it was the midday break.
Mm-hmm.
That it was like people were coming in, taking their like midday break, and just having like a nice little glass of cava and a cupcake, and then going back and doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah, because like I don't know if they're doing that or headed home from work or what their schedule was or what. But holy moly, this place they were getting some foot traffic.
Yeah,
and we found out later. And here's how little research I did before I prepped for this. On TripAdvisor, this is the #1 bakery out of 194 bakeries in Barcelona.
I had no idea.
These guys are number one.
And I saw that when we were leaving, I saw a sign.
Yeah.
And it was like their little TripAdvisor posting that they put, like that TripAdvisor sends them for you to put in your window, like we're number whatever in the city. And they were number one. And I was like, we just went to the #1 place.
We're going to put the link on
Yes.
vocavacay.com because
Yes.
you need to see this.
Yes.
It is so good. It's delicious. The food. And the reason we brought up cupcakes, just as a final thought on this, we brought up cupcakes is we don't want people thinking, oh, you've got to go there and eat nothing but charcuterie. You have to
Right.
eat meats and
Yes.
cheeses. You must be a seafood aficionado.
Yes.
Guys, we point this out to illustrate the fact that you can have anything there. They have great sweets. They have great
Yes.
seafood, great tapas boards, charcuterie stuff,
Yes.
anything you want to have, Barcelona's got it.
It made up for not going to the market.
It did.
And
It
also,
did.
I have to say, I was so like just taken aback by the Basilica. I needed something that wasn't overwhelming my senses anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this was perfect. And I felt like a local happening upon it and just going, oh, we're like walking around and this is what we would do if we lived here.
Yes.
Is we would just happen into this place or go to another bodega or like whatever. And it's like, that's the part of the travel experience that's great as well. Because you can plan to go to all this big stuff, but sometimes you just want to like experience the place like you live there.
Yeah.
Like it's any other day.
Just a tiny little place.
Yeah.
One person was working there at the time and running the whole operation. Guys, it's worth checking out.
It is perfect.
We're just really fortunate to find that. And you would think with such a great experience, it's like, hey, Frank and Marie, you guys sounds like you had a really good day. You saw, a little charcuterie butcher shop. You saw the Basilica cupcake. You guys would never disagree on this trip, right?
It happens, I guess.
You've seen the series Friends, right? Where you have Joey and Monica, where they take two different approaches, things. You know what? We have dedicated a little bitty portion of our show every single episode to our disagreements that we have because, yes, even we disagree on our vacays. It is absolutely true.
It's true.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Yeah, you do. Come on. It's time. Let's do it right now. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
It's game on. It's time for Monica versus Joey.
I said earlier that this was a good choice, a good place to take the hop on, hop off bus. And it was the second time that we did it on this journey of this Mediterranean cruise. And I have to say, I have now kind of fallen in love a little bit with the hop on, hop off. I just feel like it's a good choice.
Let's talk about this. Let's do this right now because the Monicas of the travel world would love to have a little more structure.
Yeah.
You have the local experts. You want to have what's that thing, a map? That's loser talk. You were all in favor of just getting on the hop on, hop off bus, put on the little headset, and
that
just
was right.
la, 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 la. The Joey, I'll be. How about if I'm Joey in this situation? Like on the
Sure.
series friends, Joey's gonna be like, "Hey, let's walk around. We'll
Yeah.
find it." You can't go wrong in Barcelona because there's so many cool things to
That's
look
true.
at.
See?
Every neighborhood opens
Yeah.
up a new mystery of history and
It's
culture
true.
and art and food. So you have all these options. So I'm just saying that, yeah, the hop on, hop off, I can appreciate. I can see why people want to do that. But the Joey type person. This was a bit of a disagreement that we had. Which was like, let's just start walking. There's 1,000,000.6
true.
people in the town. Let's just plow into it.
I did. There was a moment where it was a little tense where I was really talking you into buying the tickets for the bus. And I was like, because here's the thing, you have a valid, great point.
Thank you.
Like don't totally wing it. Look up some stuff that you're going to hit and go see. But you do need, I just said a little bit ago, you need to walk around, feel like you're a local, and immerse yourself in the everyday culture.
When
like
did you
live
start
there.
talking like the Valley Girl of San Bernardino, California like that?
So I'm not saying that actually on this argument, either one of us is wrong or right, because I think it just depends on what kind of experience suits your needs at the time.
It does.
And so we had to be back at 5:30. That's kind of what propelled me to be like, I know there's a lot of history and culture here. I'm not going to understand it all, nor will I have time to actually seek it out on my own. So I really pushed for the bus. So I really enjoyed the bus.
Yes.
And so I think if you really want to plan and you want something structured, also I have to say I'm getting old, y'all. Like I just kind of feel like if I can afford the ticket, then maybe you should just take me around and tell me the things.
Just like a tourist.
I get really tired, in my old age. It's not like I'm a spring chicken in my 20s. I mean, look, we walk a lot, but having the ability to be bussed between locations
yes.
was kind of nice.
Well, it's also nice having someone tell you, it's like, and on your left is
Yes.
this neighborhood, and look up here and see this building. It's like, because if you're walking, you may not have captured all the nuances
Right.
there, but you
Yes.
have the local guide, that's fine. My only gripe against the hop on, hop off bus is that I don't like being beholden to someone else.
Right.
It's like, hey, if I'm walking around. I can just do a U-turn and walk back if I feel like it.
To your point, and to give you great credit,
Thank you.
there were several times where we were on the bus and I was kind of second guessing because I would look down on a street, like we'd be going down the street and I'd
Yes.
look over and I'd go,
I want to eat there.
I want to go there. Like
Yes.
I'd see a shop or something and be like, wait, we got to come back to that.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say stop. Like it's not going to work.
Stop the bus. I'm
Stop
getting
it.
off. Agree to disagree. That is Monica
Yeah.
versus Joey. So it's just two different viewpoints. And
Yeah.
we're sort of watering down how big this knockdown, drag out fight was between. Why we're not getting on a bus.
It was a lengthy discussion.
It worked out well for everyone. See, and it could happen to you. Something, but we do try to impart good
Yeah,
information to people
yeah.
as well. We try to give websites that will help them when they go to Barcelona.
Yes.
We always try to give them what we call a travel nugget.
Ooh, I like a good travel nugget.
Travel nuggets abound this week. Abound, I tell you, because there's so much to do in Barcelona. Holy moly, we're trying to knock down the number of nuggets we give you guys because there's so many great things to see and do.
And eat.
Yes. So look at vocavacay.com. Go to our nuggets page because we're going to show you not just pictures of where we went and
Yeah.
try to replicate these things because you can.
Yeah.
They're actually, it's such a photogenic and beautiful place to go. SagradaFamilia.org. That is the Basilica.
Yes.
So expect to find that link there. Cakery is cupcakery.com, I should
Yes.
say. And also the local market. We want to put that on there as well.
The Boqueria local market.
The bookery, and we will put pictures and just look because we want to show you pictures of the charcuterie meat shop, butcher shop we went to.
Yes.
All the good stuff, guys. Our goal is to two goals. One, motivate you to go, and two, make sure you drool over everything you see on our website because it looks and tastes and smells amazing.
Well, and here's the thing. I think we forgot to mention, I don't know, maybe we did. It's gone so fast because this place was so exciting. Talking about it has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But we did buy stuff in that butcher shop and
Yes.
in that charcuterie shop.
Yes.
We bought some ham, but didn't we also buy sardines?
Yeah.
Canned sardines.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll put the link And it'll be good too as a good travel nugget
Yeah.
because it was a really good one. It was really nice.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of really good stuff you can do. But yeah, we totally got the sardines there.
Yeah.
And we've eaten them since. They were delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
of
brought them
course.
back with us.
So that's what you get for travel nuggets.
Yeah.
Helping you on the website. And of course, whenever we're doing internet research, we always got, it happens every single episode of Voca Vacay in all of our grandeur and splendor. We always find one thing. It's like, is this for real? And we feel compelled to pass them along to you, our happy listening audience.
Yes.
That's what we call What the Holy Guacamole.
What the holy guacamole are you talking about?
Okay, we know COVID is still going on and it's affecting the travel industry, and other people are, people can't travel, you can't get out, but there is a resort in the Maldives. The Maldives, I tells you, that has a very interesting proposition for you for the year 2021.
This is craziness.
Yeah, you so want to do this.
I do. I hate COVID. I want
know.
it to go away.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with it too. And this
God.
Maldivian idea is really appealing. Listen to this. Anatara Valley is a resort. It's an all-you-can, basically it's a resort
It's
you go
all-inclusive.
to. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? They're offering you an all-you-can-stay resort package for 2021. Let me say that word again. All-you-can-stay.
Wow.
For $30,000 American dollars, for $30,000 large here,
Whoa.
here's what you get: a 2-person overwater bungalow.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is a private island property. You get this bungalow. 2 people can stay. It includes airport transfers, daily breakfast. You get breakfast, not lunch and dinner, but you get breakfast there.
Okay.
Taxes, service charges. It is 62 square meters. I assume you get Wi-Fi because all the rooms come with Wi-Fi. It's on the website. I checked it out. But for $30,000, that is your bungalow to use anytime you want to, from January 1st until December 23rd.
But once you go, you can't come back.
No.
Like you gotta go
Yeah,
and then stay. It's
no.
not like any time to use
no.
coming back and forth.
No, you can go back and forth.
Stop it.
Yes.
I didn't know that
that's
part.
it. So let's say you go January 1st.
Stop.
And you have to tell them in advance that you're coming on those dates because they literally send a shuttle boat to you
Oh
to
my
pick you up
God.
from the mainland. It's like a half-hour boat ride to their private island where they have this resort. So you are looking really happy
This
right
is
now.
checking off a lot of boxes for me because I've always wanted to go to the Maldives.
Yes.
I've always wanted to stay in an over the water bungalow.
That's like your dream vacation right there, is this overwater bungalow thing.
And now that I know you can come back and forth.
yes. Here's what you do. You can go
I
January
think
1st.
this might be worth the money.
It's $30,000.
It's a lot of money, but I'm saying
Ah!
when you take the price and then you go, oh, well, you have to go and you stay and then leave. It can only be for as long as, after
Right.
you land the first time.
No.
Oh, no, I'm not thinking that might not be worth the money. But coming back and forth, if you spent $15,000, because it's $30,000 for 2 people,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If you spent $15,000 on vacationing every year because you have a large family and you go on vacations a couple of times,
Right. To go visit people, whatever.
Right.
Sure. I get that.
this might be worth it.
Here's the thing. I'm glad you got 15,000 laying around so you
don't, but
can
I'm
kick in.
just saying.
But wow. Here's how they do it. So let's say you go January 1st.
Yeah.
And you stay till January 20th. That's 20 days. Then you call them up, say, hey, can you take the boat, send the boat over and take me back to the mainland? I get a plane, And then you call them back up. You got to do it 2 days in advance so they can have a room ready for you.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I'm going to come back on March 9th and I'll stay until April 26th. And they say, okay. And they'll do this as basically you can always use it from January 1st till December 23rd. Now check this out. At the current rate, if you were to go do this, the rates for this overwater bungalow for 2 people, it's $473 a night.
What?
Now, listen to this. If you were to go there from January 1st till December 23rd, the total is, I did the math, $169,334.
I told you this is a good deal.
So you're saying we should go so I can save $130,000 to make you happy.
Yes,
I don't
dear.
want to lose money on this deal. Clearly, we should sign up now.
Tell me more about this all inclusivity. Does
Well-
this include alcohol?
It includes airport transfers, daily breakfast, taxes, and service charges. I'm sure they have a bar and they have restaurants that you can add on. This is the basic stuff.
Okay.
But it's an overwater bungalow.
Oh my
You can
gosh.
hang out. literally as much as you want for the calendar year of 2021. Next year coming up, you can go $30,000. The resort is called Anantara Valley. It's there.
I swear, if I had the money right now, I'd be doing this.
Yeah.
Just because the Maldives is beautiful. And if you want that beachy sort of like island feel, that is like nowhere else on the earth. On the earth. You need to visit this place. I have one friend, I believe it was the Maldives. I have one friend that went and stayed in a place like this.
Yeah, love it.
And I was in awe of her when I saw on Facebook that she posted that she was in the Maldives.
Oh, we should go.
And I believe I texted her or Facebook messaged her or something and was like, at some point we need to travel together.
Yeah.
Like I was like, because it looked like she had a great time. Her and her husband, it looked like they were just in the water all the time.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Hanging out in the Maldives.
It's gorgeous.
We should do this.
I am so in awe of people that get to go there.
We need
$30,000. It is so amazing.
So yeah, if you want, I'm just saying it's out there. That's the kind of story we look at and go, what the holy guacamole? It's absolutely true.
But you can't share it, right? Like if my friend I mentioned,
Nope.
like if we, okay.
Here's how this works. That's a great question.
Lacey.
Two people. So let's say you and I go.
Yeah.
I can't go back later with someone else. You can't go back later with someone else. And we can't rotate. It is you two and only you two.
Lacey.
So you better be dating them pretty steady if you're going to pull this off.
Yeah, really. This is for married, joined at the hip, never going to leave you.
I love
Couples
you so much.
only.
I can't wait to be in a bungalow with you all the time. That'd be awesome. Let's go now.
Yeah, that's the only problem, I think. Like, is there a town near this place? Like, is there other stuff to do?
No,
like,
I think it's just the island with the resort on it.
Man.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm sure it's beautiful. How much
Yeah.
of, here's the problem. This is the problem I see. You buy this, you go
Yes.
the first time, it's it's amazing.
Sure.
You go back the second time, you're like, I'm bored.
I would think no such thing.
Bring your parcheesi, eh? Like, it's like, bring something to do.
Okay. So people of Anantara Valley in the Maldives, hey, just message me, not her, me. We'll work out a deal. You might be invited.
Let's go
Keep
ahead
up
and
that attitude.
hashtag them and put their link on our site too.
We will do
just
that too.
Because
people are going to
that'd
think
be
we're
nice.
making this up, and we're not making
No.
this up. This
Oh
is
my
awesome.
gosh. This is so interesting.
I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you so much. I think you should take me.
30,000.
Okay.
How many kidneys am I selling this year?
Let's not go that far.
Okay, fine. But if you guys want to go,
Wait. How many vacations could you get for 30,000? Well, 15,000 for yourself. Like if you paid, like what would that pay for? I mean, like think about it. Disney's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Like if a family goes on a Disney vacation,
Mm-hmm.
they're dropping anywhere between, well, it depends on like how cheaply you go. But like if you really did the experience, stayed on, a property that's, on their property, one of those resorts, I mean, you're looking at $5,000 to $7,000, right?
Yeah.
So if you go on vacation, what, 2-3 times a year?
Yeah, if you get to do that.
5, 10, 15. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
Okay.
We'll check it out.
All right.
The Maldives. The other thing is we got to get there.
Oh gosh, that's true.
This does not include airfare.
Oh, now I'm now I'm done.
Okay, I'm going to contact these resort people and I'll talk to them personally. All right. And just make it easy for everybody. We'll put the Anantara Valley on our website
Yes.
at vocavacay.com.
We'll put their link on our website so that you guys can check it out and know that we're not pulling your leg.
No, we're not. We are serious about these. We're also serious about things like, hey, vacation like it's your job.
And live vicariously through yourself.
Darn right. And also check out vocavacay.com because that's where you'll see all of our stuff.
All the photos.
Yeah, the photos, the links, and the nuggets, and blah, 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 and all the other good stuff.
And we're on all the socials.
That's Facebook and Instagrams,
We're on the Book of Faces, the Instagrams,
the YouTubes,
the tweeters,
the tweeters.
the tubes.
I always forget about the tweeters. They're
We're
there
on
too.
all of them,
That's
man.
right. And of course, you can check us out wherever. And hey, we'll come back with a new episode in a fortnight.
Yes, thanks to everyone that's listening because we got some hardware.
Yeah.
And so that's been pretty cool.
Thanks to the W3 Awards. And as always, final shout out to Turkey, Bangladesh, Venezuela, and Norway. Thanks for playing along. Great to have you on board.
Oh, love it.
All right. Hey, let's wrap it up, which means we are going to see you in a fortnight. So thanks. That's Marie over there.
That's Frank.
And as always, love ya, miss ya, mean it. Bye.
Don't forget to click subscribe. As always, hashtag Voca Vacay at Voca Vacay and visit vocavacay.com.